Hey yogis, I'm Nicole. Welcome to my yoga time and today's evening feel good yin class. So for this practice I will be using a wall, so do position your mat close to a wall, and I've also got 2 yoga blocks. So if you don't have yoga blocks, then grab a towel, roll that up, or even a thick book will do the trick. So when you're ready, we're going to start with our legs up against the wall. So sit with one hip touching the wall, and then as you bring your shoulders down, swing those legs up. So of course a little bit of a wiggle to get in close, but you don't have to have full contact between the buttocks and the wall. A little bit of space is okay. So once in position, we're going to place your prop underneath your low back. So if you're using a block, you could have one block on the flat side. If you've got 2 blocks, you can stack those 2 on top of one another. Or of course your towel or your thick book. And when you're ready, straightening those legs and allowing the legs to fall heavy against the wall. Arms can be by your side or even above the head if the shoulders permit. This is such a soothing pose for tired legs. Gently lengthens the hamstrings and the back, helping to reduce any inflammation in the legs. Let's close the eyes down. Soften the forehead. Position the tip of the tongue where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. And do your best to keep the tongue in this position for the entire class. Softening the jaw. See if you can find a very gentle tone in the back of your throat. A breath with purpose. Can you feel the breath rolling over the back of the throat? And begin to witness the 4 parts to your breath. The inhalation, the pause, the exhalation, and pause. You might even like to invite just a little movement in for the next few breaths. Inhaling to point the toes and exhaling to flex the feet. Imagine that you're inhaling from the crown of the head to the tips of the toes, and then exhaling from the tips of the toes to the crown of the head. And when you're ready, moving into stillness. But continue to visualize the ebb and flow of the breath washing over the body, clearing away any of the day's tension, stress, or any attachments. Let's take 3 more breaths here. See if you can witness all 3 breaths. And when you're ready, let's release the pose, bending those knees, removing your props, coming all the way down. Touching down now, let's bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees fall out wide. Hands can rest on the legs, the navel, or taking them out to the side. You might even like to take a mudra here, connecting index finger and thumbs. So your breath is your point of focus. Whenever the mind wanders off, just come back to the breath. You might observe the breath moving the body, or mindfully breathe into whichever part of the body has caught your awareness. Let's bring those knees together now. If you've got your block, place it in between your thighs, coming into a twist now, legs all the way down to your left. So if your legs don't meet the floor with ease, you can use your second block or a pillow or a towel underneath. Soles of the feet are staying flat on the wall. If your right shoulder is in any sort of discomfort, bring that arm down next to the spine or prop that shoulder with your towel or your second block. And if it feels okay for your neck, just lift the head, move the back of the head to the left, and then turn your head to the right. Option to find your mudra once again. And deepening your breath here to deepen your twist. And on your next inhalation, let's bring those legs back to the wall and coming straight over to the other side. Propping your body however you need to. And once again, lift the head briefly, move the back of the head to the right, and then turn your head to the left. And there's nowhere to be but with your breath. From here, let's roll onto the right side. Come into the fetal position. Feel free to remove the block. And then finding your way up to seated. So from here, let's come over onto all fours. We're going to move into our puppy pose. So extending those arms out in front, keeping those hips up nice and high. Forehead meeting the mat. If not, bring your block over instead. Now, if you've got an unhappy shoulder here, you can always just practice with one arm. Make a pillow with the back of your palm. Otherwise, arms can stay straight or elbows a little closer, hands to prayer above the head. Breath awareness now is in the upper body. Following your next inhalation out of the pose, coming back into your tabletop. We're going to move into pigeon pose from here. So bring your left knee up behind your left wrist. Just wiggle that foot across a little and then lengthen your right leg behind you. Now if those hips are quite tight, you can always sit yourself up on the block. If your hips and knees don't allow for this position, just lean off to the side and bend both legs. So my right thigh and my left shin are parallel to one another. So if you are in that variation, you'll probably fold off a little more to the side over to the left. Otherwise, we're going to come down, straight down into the center. So if you do have two blocks, I like to make a T shape with those blocks. So the vertical one's resting on the sternum and the horizontal one on the head. And breath awareness into the lower back, the hips. Follow your next inhalation out of the pose. We're going to lean off over to the left and just swing your right leg around. So coming into a seated side bend now. If this left hip and knee needs support, block underneath. We're coming over to the right, so you might choose to use your block to rest your elbow, or if you can come down to that leg with ease, do so, making a fist with the hand to support the head. Your left hand, let's take that to the lower back. Find your mudra once again. So back of the palm to the low back, and feel free to close those eyes down. And do allow your back to round here, just a little. Feel the breath moving the side waist. Follow your next inhalation out of the pose. So we're going to bend both knees and just briefly take those knees from side to side. If you need longer with this motion, please take it. Otherwise, we'll move into pigeon on the other side. So find your variation that your body says yes to. Don't push through any niggling, any pain or discomfort. This is a feel-good practice. It's not torture. So when you're ready, settling into your variation. Be with your breath. Follow your next inhalation, coming up. This time we'll take our side bend on the left side. Same as before, feel free to prop up that right knee, feel free to prop up that left elbow. Find your mudra. And begin to notice the breath starting to press those lines of tension on the side waist. And just notice how you're feeling in this position compared to when you first came in. There's a magic 2-minute mark where often we feel like we've moved a little deeper into the pose without any effort. The connective tissue starts to respond and the body softens, releases. Follow your next inhalation out of the pose. Same as before, let's bring those legs a little closer together. Swish those knees from side to side. From here, let's come down into an upper back bend now. So if you've got a rolled up towel, laying that just behind your shoulders, I'll have my block there. If you've got just the towel, you can always use a pillow underneath the head, or of course your thick book. So let's recline. Keeping those knees bent as you move your way down to your prop. If you're looking for a little more support, take the prop under the head a little bit higher than the one under the shoulders. Otherwise, find the same height for both, or a little deeper if you remove the prop underneath the head. Arms out to the side. Take them as high as you can and feel free to find your mudra once again. Now you might choose to keep the knees bent here, taking those feet as wide as the mat, knees falling into touch. Or if it feels okay for your back, straighten and relax the legs. Breathing into the heart center. One of my favorite positions to do at the end of the day, to undo that bad posture. Observing the 4 parts once again to your breath. And when you're ready to release the pose, bending those knees, you might roll to your side to come off your props, otherwise halfway up, remove those props. And reclining down. So let's bend those knees, feet wide as the mat, knees falling into touch, and just a breath or two here to allow the upper back to realign. Breathing into any newfound space. Let's bring those feet a little closer now, placing your left ankle on the right knee. Maintaining the shape in the legs, just bringing them over to your right. So the sole of the left foot is flat onto the floor. If it doesn't meet the floor with ease, just position your block underneath. Use your right hand to press the leg away at the hip crease, or if you can reach the ankle, take a hold of the ankle. And if you've got that ankle with ease, you might even start to lift the big toe off the mat, so you're rolling more onto the pinky side. So this is not a twist, we want the leg to fall away from the body. Left arm out to the side or even above the head. Option to take your mudra once again. Breath awareness into the side waist, the outer hip, the outer leg, your IT band. Inhale those legs back to center now. So we'll change sides. Right ankle to the left knee. Inhale, coming out of the pose. Both knees are bent now. Let's take a hold of your block and place it underneath your low back. So choice is yours whether you have the block on the flat side or even take it to the second height. We are going to take a hold of your left leg, either staying here or allowing your right leg to straighten and relax. Try to soften this left hip flexor, even though it's contracted, try to soften. So a lovely back bend, but not dissimilar to a lunge either, without the pressure on the knees. Observing your navel rising on the inhalation towards your thigh. A moment to pause before you exhale. On your next inhalation, bending your right knee, releasing the left, changing sides straight away. So another lovely position to practice at the end of the day to undo the bad posture, releasing your back, also stimulating digestion. So we're gently lengthening those digestive organs, deepening that sensation by deepening your breath. And when you're ready, let's bend the left leg, release the right. Feel free to take a brief moment with both knees bent, or if it feels okay for your back, you can straighten and relax both legs. We're not here for too much longer. Arms can be by your side or above the head. And let's bend those knees now. Pressing into the balls of the feet, lift up the heels and the hips together, remove your block. Keep those heels high as you lower down one vertebrae at a time. Touching down and cupping those hands over the knees, arms as straight as you inhale, bend the elbows as you exhale. Move and breathe slowly. So option 2, continue as you are, if that feels good for your back. Otherwise, if it's available for you, if your hips and knees permit, we'll take those legs a little wider, either keeping hands on the knees or happy baby pose. Raise those feet. Try and stack the ankles above the knees, shins are vertical. Arms are on the inside, though we're reaching for the outside edges of your feet. So you might choose to hold this still or gently rock side to side. We're not here for too long. We're not holding this as a yin pose. It's just a gentle counter stretch. And when you're ready, we can lower those feet down to the floor. Moving into Shavasana now, and I encourage you to place your blocks or your towel behind your knees or your thighs. Let those legs fall heavy over the props. Tuck your shoulders under, turning the palms to face the ceiling, and finding your mudra once again. Softening the forehead as the eyes roll back. And taking this time to allow the positive effects of your practice to assimilate in the body. And for the spine to reset. And for the mind to just be. Inhaling a little deeper now. As you guide your awareness back. Feel free to rock the head from side to side. Or swallow if the mouth is dry. Wiggling toes and fingers. Following any urges to move or stretch. When you're ready, finding your way over onto your preferred side, coming into your fetal position. And then finding your way up to seated. Thanks, yogis. I hope that you enjoyed the practice and you've undone the day's tension. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to the channel, and not just my channel, but any yoga teacher that you watch on a regular basis. It's the best way to support free yoga on YouTube. Have a lovely evening.